Good morning, everybody. Automotive Inc. here. So we are checking out a 2024 Subaru Forester that has a unique rattle coming from the front end. Now, I believe that Subaru has kept it simple, so I've seen this on lots of different cars over the years. I don't think they change a lot, so I think this video could help a lot of people. Now, this clunk did not start until after the wonderful road crews, not by my city, but the crews they hired, came out and road milled a chunk of the road out, about 30 feet worth. It was foggy that morning. They didn't put out any signs saying that there was a bump. Speed limit's 45. I'm going 40. I go down into the first dip pretty hard, and before I could even slow down to 25 or even 30 mile an hour, I hit the egress one, and it was hard, and the whole front of the car just kind of jarred. Ever since that time, I've found a rattle. Now, the rattle is unique because it sounds like metal on metal. Matter of fact, it sounds like the AC compressor in an old fridge. When you kind of move it, and it kind of rattles in there like that. So this is my fault, and it's kind of just a Subaru design that I think doesn't necessarily need to be there long term. But I spent about a week taking foam pieces, adjusting the hood because it kind of emulates the sound of the hood, kind of rattling. And I'll show you that just in here in just a second. So adjusted the hood to the max that I could with the little rubber adjusters. Let's check those out. So these are the rubber adjusters. I remembered where the original factory setting was. Raise them all the way up. You can feel where they're going to end by putting your finger underneath both sides. There is one on both sides. From there, I made sure that this bracket for the hood latch could be adjusted. It cannot. I then looked up here, and this is a fixed point. There's no slide groove, so if it is the hood or was the hood, then that didn't fix that. Got underneath here, I put foam underneath the prop rod for the hood, although the prop rod itself has its own foam pieces. That wasn't it. Grill's tight, everything's tight, went underneath it, checked everything. Nothing was rattling. There is some movement in these panels, but this sounded like a metal on metal sound. And again, I'll show you the sound, because driving it, it's hard to hear it unless you're in the car hearing it. It's not going to pick up on the video. So then I got underneath, checked everything. I went around the hubs and everything, and what I've found is this is a new car, 1,500 miles. Shouldn't have a rattle like this, but now it does. I could take it to the dealer. They're going to hear it probably, and then it's going to take better half of a day to try and see if they can find it, and they'll probably just say it's something to do with the suspension, come back when it gets worse, or they'll start just pulling and plugging parts, which on a brand new car, I don't want that. All right, the people and the robots, the factory aligned everything perfectly the first time. I'm not knocking the dealer techs. I'm just saying this is going to be hard for them to find. So what I did find is, and I'll show you the sound in just a second, is on the firewall where the plastic cowling comes down. There is a metal plate with two alignment tabs that actually go into the car body, and I think they're merely for the factory to set that piece in there and bolt it down. So I think you could either foam it, put a piece of foam in there, or you could probably just take a grinder and cut the bottom of those tabs off. But before I show you those things, please smash the subscribe button, guys. If you find this content useful and fixes your problem, and you're on part of a Subaru forum, share this information. Save people time, save people the effort. If their car's out of warranty, save them money, because it may not be suspension related, and those pieces can be very expensive. So I've closed the hood, guys, and I'll shut my mouth so you can hear it, but this is kind of what the sound sounded like. Now, it did sound like it was closer to the firewall itself, but it sounded like this. Now, I'm grossly exaggerating that by pushing pretty hard on the hood. Now, even with the adjustment tabs all the way out, it makes that sound, and that was not it. So here is what I found. Now, way up in here, guys, if you can see it, there is this bracket. Now this bracket is part of the actual body, and then here's the upper piece that is also metal, and that's basically what holds the cowling on. Now, interesting enough, if you look right here on this tab, it's all black, it is steel. You can see that there's actually metal on metal bare paint there. And what I found was, is when I moved this piece, you hear that thunk, that's probably the thunk that you're hearing inside. Now if we come over here to the driver's side, we can see that this one's even closer to the metal, and this one makes the same sound. So if there's enough body flex, that would be your pop pop. So I'm basically going to pull this down and put some foam in there. And what I have always told people, if you get extra weather stripping or a switch and a wiring kit for an auto car, and you have the room, save that stuff, because for little fixes like this, it'll save your run to the store. It gives you a good starting point. Now I do believe, again, there's no retaining clip on the bottom of those tabs, so I think if you're good with a little Dremel or something, you could just get in there and slice them off. I don't believe they're hard mounted to both sides of the fenders, the actual whole strip, so I think they're merely an alignment tab. For the factory to come in, set it in, know where to shoot the bolts, and done. They don't have time to sit there and wiggle it around and everything like that. Alright, so I have this high density foam that I got with a tonneau cover. I got an extra set of this. Super thick, I think it'll last a long time. I basically just put a flathead in there and just shoved it underneath this, and did that on both sides. So come over here, and that remedied the issue. So at the end of the day, guys, you could take it to the dealer. They can poke and prod, change your struts, change your sway bars, whatever. Especially if you have a higher mileage one, it is more potentially that, because those are maintenance parts, wear out parts, so very well could be. But in a new vehicle like this, I think sometimes if they can't plug in a scanner and find an issue, that they're just going to start saying, well, let's replace this and let's replace that. That's completely up to you if you got all that extra time, but I will tell you that this is worth a shot, and I do believe that this is going to be working on older Foresters, probably at least 2015 and up. I don't think they've changed a whole lot of the body structure stuff. So give it a shot, guys. If you don't mind hitting the like button, notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.